Welcome back. This is Weeknights.
Weeknights. This is Weeknights, and we're Dash and JD. This is Weeknights. Come and watch it with me. This is Weeknights. Here we go. This is Weeknights. Get ready for the show.
Look at that. And you didn't even have BBL Drizzy in the background. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't need it. Didn't need it. I'm an artist.
Holler.
And I'm
Talk
sensitive
that shit.
about my shit.
And I'm sensitive about my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So shut the hell up in the comments.
Exactly. You be quiet over there.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, shout out to all of y'all.
In the
Even
comments.
even the obnoxious ones helping us boost our engagement. Right.
Gotta go.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's enough. People listening are like, what's going on? Why are they not? What are they referring to? You gotta watch it to know, mofo.
You gotta go look in our comments.
On the YouTubes.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Enough of the silliness. Let's pod. I have an important question for you.
A question? We haven't done a question in a long time. What's up? Ask away.
Standing or sitting at concerts?
Standing. Standing. I don't. Okay. So not always. Let me go back. I didn't stand at Anita Baker.
That's why I'm asking.
Apologize. The only time you stand during like an Anita Baker concert is when she does like something phenomenal, right? So, maybe
Hold on. Everything Anita Baker does is phenomenal.
that's not true.
Oof. You must be Team Babyface.
I am.
I know I'm making jokes. Go ahead. What's up?
And I mean, if you know, you know. She didn't sing all the songs when I went to see her, so she's great, but she's also grumpy. So, yeah, I didn't stand. I sat, and that was enough. And again, I think the only time you stand during that particular type of performance is when they do something that's like standing ovation time. But outside of that, no. But if it's hip hop or something that's more just generally more upbeat or more rhythmic, then I'm standing. I'm not Bad Boys. I'm standing the whole time. Jay-Z standing the whole time. Like even at festivals, standing the whole time. Like unless it's like something really soft that doesn't require movement. But I think that also speaks to the type of music, right? Because like if you're a person who goes to all rock concerts, you're probably
Mosh
gonna be
pit.
you're probably gonna be standing the whole time. You probably can't see the concert if you don't stand. And I also read the room. So like if I'm somewhere and most people are standing, I'll probably stand too. Again, it could just be people might be obstructing my view, or because what no one talks about is when you have floor seats, which I don't always have floor seats to concerts, but when you have floor seats, it's actually harder to see the stage because everybody stands. I don't remember, was it Barclays Center or Madison Square Garden, where I went to see someone who shall remain nameless. And as soon as they came out, everyone in the section stood up. And the seats weren't like regular stadium seats, they were individual seats. So everybody was just standing on their chairs, which is also incredibly dangerous. But but that was the only way you were going to be able to see, because no one would get off their chairs. So it
Right.
really depends, I think, on the concert. But I'm like Team Stan because I feel like most of the concerts I go to or have gone to, I was standing.
What about at like a Chris Brown concert? Honestly asking, is that a stand or a sit? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking. At R&B concerts, I usually don't stand.
Agreed. That's kind of what I'm saying. That's why I used Anita Baker as
No,
the
I know,
example.
but that's why I ask
Um,
about Chris Brown because he got that pop side, you know.
Chris Brown is the one where I had to stand because I had floor seats and
Oh,
every,
I'm sorry. I wasn't even trying to out you. I did not know that. I
and
had no idea that's who it was.
it was Chris Brown. And yeah, Chris Brown, you would stand because Chris Brown kind of toes that line between R&B and hip hop. Because even if he's not rapping, like his beats, his features, all of that kind of his music sounds very similar to me.
Got it.
So yeah, I think that a lot of people would stand for that. I mean, I guess you'd sit down if he was doing like a really slow song. But the thing I think that people go to Chris Brown concerts for is like him flipping all over the stage and doing his
I
dances,
would imagine so.
whatever. Yeah,
Painting
great
with his feet,
performer.
you know.
Yeah, so you want to see that. And again, I think in those moments, everybody else starts to stand, and you're like, well, if I want to see this concert, I got to stand too. Really, what you just need to do is get a box.
Um, okay. Yep. Very wealthy options at concerts.
Privilege.
Yeah.
Do is get a box so that you can do whatever you want.
Eat fresh food.
Sit, stand, whatever. Dance, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. With you and
Hold
the
on
other
to
five
your
privileged
lover
people.
and just sway.
Yeah.
Or, back that ass up on your
Yeah. A lot of options there. Yeah. Generally, I go to hip hop concerts, so I'm standing. I
Yeah,
have gone to a couple of R&B shows. There you're sitting. Um,
yeah. I think it's
so
genre specific. I think you're onto something.
yeah, like I don't think I would be standing at a jazz concert,
No.
but I guess it depends because there's some up tempo jazz too. So,
And like I
but I
said,
could totally go ahead.
something incredible happens, like something phenomenal happens, or somebody like hits a great high note, or maybe a saxophone player. If you're at a jazz show, maybe there's a saxophone player who like does a solo and it's incredible. I think you stand temporarily just like out of respect for that person, not necessarily because you're standing because the good time that you're having requires you to stand.
Right, gotcha. Okay, sweet. Well, let's move on to the next topic.
Let's move
Let me
on.
ask you another question.
Oh wow, lots of questions today. Okay.
21 questions. Where you buy your records from?
I don't.
Your vinyl from?
I don't. Oh well, I've bought gifts, Amazon or Urban Outfitters.
Well, there's a new place to buy vinyl.
I would rather buy it from the new place.
Tell them about it.
DJ Premier has opened a digital record store, um, which I think is really cool. And the reason I say I would buy from there before I buy from Amazon and Urban Outfitters is because, buying black is important to me. So I just think this is really cool. Apparently, he's a huge collector. He's someone who has a great affinity um, for records, for vinyls. So I think some of it is his collection, part of his collection. And I just think this is really dope, especially when there's this huge resurgence of record playing happening right now. I've been looking at record players lately because I am
Mm.
considering buying one for, Hardly Headquarters. So, um, I think it's super cool. I think it's great that this is something that he's doing and he's kind of sharing his passion with us. And why not? I think I yeah, you buy it online from Amazon, but like I like the idea of having this whole experience. Also, going to the record store is just a cool experience. So if someone can create that feeling virtually, why not? You know,
Right.
and I think that's what he's trying to do. So,
Yeah, I think it's great. I also think the selection at Premier's Records shop is probably going to be a lot more interesting
hmm
and a lot more appealing to those of us who follow him
hmm
than going to Urban Outfitters, right?
of
I
course.
think, no knock to them, but
Mm-mm.
I just think, Premier is going to have more of what we want to hear. And even like, I think his surprises, things that you don't expect him to have, will
Yeah.
probably be something that you want to hear, as opposed to Urban Outfitters that kind of has generic stuff.
And I said Amazon too. I think Urban is just an accessible like brick and mortar place to go to. Um, which I mean, we live in the New York, New Jersey area, right? So um there's record stores. You can find record stores if you look for them. They're around. It's just one of those places that will sell like the top 40 stuff, I guess. So it's convenient, but not necessarily where I want to go to buy records, you know?
Yes. Yes, I understand completely.
Yeah.
And I think also, like, it's cool that you have the spots that have those generic type of top 40, top 40
hmm
hits or top 40 albums, whatever. But I think there's a different level of the shopping experience when it comes to being in a spot that really curates an experience and that really cares about what they carry. Like, I know someone who owns a record store, and when I go to his record store, I can tell he's not trying to get any of the top 40 stuff. It's like his whole thing is like, records are vintage. We want to carry stuff that's vintage and stuff that's worth buying. And
hmm
so he jokes all the time online. Like, people always ask, "Hey, you got the new Taylor Swift on vinyl?" And he's like, "No, this store will never have Taylor Swift on vinyl. Like, we're not here to give you the albums of today. This store exists to give you the albums of yesteryear."
hmm
So he takes pride when he's got like a random old school find. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, he posted something from Space Jam one day. It was like just a single that was on Space Jam. And I was like, how did that even happen? Like, that is interesting. Like, when you walk in a record store and see something like that, it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he had like an Easy E single at one point and was like, I don't know how long this is gonna be here, but this arrived today. And I was like, son, now that is fly.
And it's a place you can get lost in. Anytime I go to a record store, I mean, maybe this is just the music lover in me, I don't know. But to me, I go to a record store and I could be there for hours just looking through the racks and, oh my
Right.
gosh, you have this, and oh my gosh, you have that. And yeah, it's a different experience when it's all like new music. You're probably not going to have that same experience. The reality of the new vinyl conversation is that the newer generations are now experiencing record playing. And so, like, someone like my niece who is 12 going on 13 is like, I want the new Ariana Grande record, you know, or I want the Taylor Swift album on vinyl. Like, she thinks it's so cool, record players right now, that she could get you know, her favorite artist, whoever those people may be, she could get a record and pop it in, and it's like a whole experience. And I think the growth of TikTok also has like ritualized a lot of things. so record playing is one of them. Like you see people do like their Sunday resets, and it's a whole thing. I light my candles, I turn on my record player, pull the record um out of the jacket, pop it on the record player, turn it on. It's like a whole thing now. It's like a whole culture that is being created around vinyls. So I think it's cool. However you want to do it, I think is okay. I like that he's creating a virtual option that is more curated. It's not the Amazon experience where Amazon is very cold in the sense that you go there, you find what you want, you put it in your cart and you check out. There's no real experience to it. It's solely transactional. Whereas when you go to a space like DJ Premiere's site, you're gonna be able to like really experience music there. You're gonna
Right.
be able to look through it the same way you would flip through the crates in the record store. It's gonna feel more like you're having an experience rather than that kind of cold, just transactional experience. And I think that's what people want. I think people who like records and like to play records, I think that's what they want. They want to have this. They want to attach that emotion to it, that feeling that you get, the excitement that you get looking through the records or pulling out the
Yeah.
record or playing it or whatever. People want that. So very cool.
And even not being on his website yet or not shopping there yet, my assumption is that he's going to create an online experience, and even just browsing through that collection is going to be a nice feeling, something that you feel is more rewarding than scrolling through Amazon.
Right. Right. So I love that. I mean, and also just yeah, do go to more traditional record stores if you can find them. I know they're not as common as they used to be, but I think that while we're in this period right now where um, the people of yesteryear are kind of looking to do that, and the people of tomorrow are also interested in it. I think it's a good time to find like really cool record stores. I know that in New York,
Mhm.
even just the record playing experience has kind of become a part of New York nightlife as well. So I would encourage anybody who's watching or anybody who's listening to go find a local record store and support it, because if that's something you're into, because they're out there, you just gotta look for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you need one in Ridgewood, there's a place called Deep Cut Records. Go check them out.
I need to check that out.
Yes, they got some cool stuff. That's my boy Brandon's store. Shout out to Brandon. Uh, there's no good way to transition into our final topic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I'm gonna just get right to it.
Yep.
Max, ID, Warner Brothers Discovery, whatever you want to call them today, they are putting out a doc on Kevin Spacey and on the men and boys who have been violated by him, had bad runnings with him in the sexual realm. Um, the trailer is out. We saw the trailer. I saw it and sent it right to you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is going to be coming out on Max soon. What are your thoughts?
This is always an awkward conversation to have when these things come out, because I'm someone who likes documentaries, and so curiosity gets me. Um, I'm not so much a true crime person as I am someone who kind of just wants to see, like, give me a documentary about someone's life or something that someone did or whatever, and I'm interested. So to say that I'm not interested in seeing this would be a lie. Um, because curiosity is getting me. The trailer um, has me locked in. Um, but I do realize that it's at the expense of, people who have been harmed by him. And I mean, I think like anything else, it's kind of like watching Quiet on the Set. You know that that's kind of what you're getting yourself into when you watch those types of documentaries. I also think they're necessary in that I think that sometimes culturally we don't really understand um, the impact when we don't understand how deep certain things run. So I think it's kind of like when Surviving R. Kelly came out. Um, why'd you make that face? You don't want me to talk about that?
You can.
The only reason I'm talking about it is because I think that it just took a deeper dive into something that I think people were very much in denial about for a long time. And I think that we become jaded, maybe not me or you specifically, but I think we as people become jaded by the good things we think about celebrities and the things that they do. We often turn a blind eye to some things that we hear about them because we like them the way we like them. I like to see you acting. I like to see you performing your songs or whatever it is. And I'm not really interested in seeing you in that way. But I think sometimes we need to see these things to understand that, like, not only are people human, but also there's some really fucked up people in this world, including your faves.
Including your faves.
So I will watch it. Um, it looks like it's gonna be a mess. Um, but I will watch it. Um, but I do realize that it could be very triggering for some people, and I understand that. I sympathize with that.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey was probably my favorite non-colored actor at one point. Um,
Not non-colored.
non-melanated, you know. Um, Gotta add a little bit of, comedy
You'll be like,
to the serious topic. Um, yeah, so when all of this stuff happened and he started saying dumb stuff in response, it was hard to deal with. Uh, Phenomenal actor, but it also doesn't change what he may have done. And so, where I don't know 100% what he did or did not do, we do know that there were allegations, and you know, uh, it looks like now they're putting a light on more people who feel brave enough to come forward.
Mhm.
Um, and it seems like these people are mostly men, and or were young men at the time. It looks like there's actually a wide variety of ages here, based on the trailer. Um, and we see a lot of stuff like Surviving R. Kelly, and we see stuff that speaks about women's struggle with SA. But we don't see a lot about men, right?
It's true.
And so it's a topic that's kind of like taboo. It's a topic that kind of gets brushed under the rug when it comes to boys and men.
Yeah.
Um, and, I feel like if we can watch movies and docs about women being assaulted, then yeah, it's only right that we give men a platform
Of
to
course.
speak about their situation. Um, and I want to be clear because I have publicly spoken out against people like Terry Crews, who I think is full of shit. I think this is very different in the sense that these people are not saying some random shit that doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Where Terry Crews is like, I was at a party with my family, and this person just ran up and grabbed me by the dick. It's like, yeah, but what made them feel comfortable enough to do that at a party? Like this, and Terry Crews, you're weird. So I don't know. I don't really, I never really believed anything like that. And I know that's foul to say that I don't believe him, but I say that to say I think this is something that has contrast here. Like I think this is very different than that instance and what he ran around doing a press run saying, right? These are people who you could see in the trailer alone that this is something that's difficult for them to speak about. It doesn't seem like they're trying to monetize off the trailer. Maybe the series comes out and something else happens. Maybe somebody is selling a book. I don't know. But off the trailer, it doesn't look like this is about monetization and going on press runs. It looks like this is about speaking about something that's been weighing on them. And I think that, excuse me, and this is why we drink water on the pod. Um, I think that this is something that's good in the sense that they're shining light on the things that go on with men and young men. One of the people I remember was supposed to be a boy at the time. When Kevin Spacey had allegations against him, one of them that came forward was a boy, if I remember correctly. And so, listen, this stuff is never okay, right? We shouldn't be abusing power. We shouldn't be abusing people. We shouldn't be violating people and their rights. I'm a firm believer in that. And so I think that this is something that is necessary in a sense, not to out the person, but to shine light on the other side of the story, right? It's very easy for a celebrity to go on a press run or to, have their PR team kind of step on something or, dim the light of a situation. It's not so easy for Joe Schmo to be able to speak their piece. And so, yeah, I'm interested in hearing the other side of the story. I think it's good that men are going to be able to speak about their experience, because Me Too is not just women. There are people who have been violated on every side of things. And men may not have a cool hashtag, right? Me Too was a cool hashtag. It was something that, uh, cool in the sense that it became public discourse. It became something that became like a phenomenon that people know. Today, it's still a verb, right? People still say like, "Hey, he tried to Me Too me at the party." So that's what I mean by cool. Not necessarily like it's fun that I was violated. I just want to be clear. That's not what I mean. So my point is, you don't see a lot of that stuff for men, and so the fact that um, this is their opportunity to speak, I think is a good thing. And I know you don't see a lot of stuff like this for men for a specific reason, right? I understand. I understand that women are, I don't know how to say this without YouTube flagging it, but whatever. Women are usually the people who are uh, victims of SA, right? And so I understand that. I'm not trying to say that women shouldn't be able to speak, hence the shirt I have on. I'm just saying that what we don't see is a lot of these things for men. I understand why. I'm just saying that I think it's good that men are also having the uh, opportunity to speak up as well. I don't think it should only be Common and Terry Crews who do press runs and say, "Hey, this happened to me."
I mean,
So,
when what's his name, Razby from B2K came out and spoke publicly about having similar problems
experiences.
when they were younger and they were, I guess in their prime, um, people laughed at him. People thought it was funny,
It's
and
very different for men and women. When a
yeah,
woman and a man say the same thing in this realm, it's received very differently.
yeah. I mean, there's been talks of even like I remember a long time there were talks about Bow Wow, and and I'm not trying to spread rumors or fodder or whatever. But the reason why I'm bringing these people up is because I think whenever you heard or hear about these things regarding someone who's a man or was a boy back then or whatever it is, it's kind of like, yeah, what are you talking about? Like, or it's said in a joking way, like somehow it happening to them is somehow different or diminished in some way. So I agree with you. I think it's really important to uh, give men and boys the room to speak on these things, because it doesn't only happen to women.
Right.
There may be, statistically, it may happen to women more, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And I think the problem too is that the reason you don't hear about it a lot is because there is this level of shame, and there is this,
Yeah.
very similar to women, honestly, but there is this level of, well, you will look a certain way if you say it, or people may not believe you, or they'll think that that it also it turns into a conversation about questioning your sexuality and things that it has nothing to do with. um so yeah, I think it's important to open up the conversation. If this is something that's going to open up that conversation, I think it's totally worth it. Um, and yeah, I think finding out all this stuff about Kevin Spacey back then when we did was really disappointing, because I too really had an affinity for Kevin Spacey. But it goes to show you, and whenever we talk about these things, that it could really be anybody. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, so yeah, that's all I got.
Me too. That's all we got. That is our show, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Weeknights. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. We will see y'all tomorrow night.
Bye.